Welcome to Starfield Signal, your place for everything Starfield. I'm your host, Luke, and today we're going to be talking about the Outpost building section of the Starfield Direct. We're still kind of in our overview series. This is going to be a very long supercut. If you know what those are, you are a fan of the channel. If you're a new fan of the channel, you're going to learn. It's going to be big. But I'm so glad all of you are here. Without further ado, let's dive into the Outpost building section from the Starfield Direct. The Outpost building section starts off right here, and I actually wanted to start right before we get to it because I absolutely love this shot. This is one of my favorite shots from the entire Direct. I think it looks so pretty from the sunset or the sunrise, whatever it is, kind of colliding with I know it's not colliding, but just visually it's colliding with the contrast of the stars and the constellation up in the sky, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I've tried my hand at a little bit of astrophotography, and this gives me that feeling, and oh, I love it. I may share some of that on our Discord at some point. Join our Discord. You'll enjoy that. Right here, he says we can set up a base camp or an outpost. This is our beacon. We've seen this before. We can put it pretty much anywhere, he says. There's probably a little bit of a restriction, like, you know, if it's like right back there on that real steep incline, that may not be a good spot for it. But essentially, I'm pretty sure this is kind of like, okay, this is the center of where you're going to start your outpost, and then it's going to give you a big perimeter as far as like where you're allowed to build. Also, notice up here, this is going to tell you what the available resources are nearby that your outpost could actually mine or use in its functions that you're going to set it up for. And so you may not even be setting up a mining facility, but it's going to tell you what you have available here. So here's just lead.
Almost anywhere on any planet. And the habitat.
Got our beacon posted, and here down at the bottom, it's just going to give us some kind of basic information as far as like where we are. It's going to increase this build limit here. It's going to fill up as we start adding on habitats to our outpost. We'll come back to that later, of course. And then over here, we just have some information about our cargo crew, power resources and how we manage that, and then what we're producing. Again, all this will start to fill up and make sense as we add on more stuff to our outpost. We just have kind of the foundation right now, if you will.
Modules come in all shapes and sizes, filling all different purposes. You can even live in them. Assign crew.
So here he just notes that you can really make your outpost for any kind of purpose, you know, within the realm of the game. And so you can make living quarters in them. You can set them up for to be a mining facility. You can set up your crew and your companions here to take on different functions. And so I really like what this is going to shape up to be. I'm very curious about the outpost, mainly because this was a very short section in the Direct. And so I feel like it wasn't because they don't have as much to say about the outpost. I feel like this is a side of the game that they're kind of holding back. They're holding their punches because they really want to wow us with what we're going to see in the outpost creation system.
And companions to work at your outpost for added bonuses and set up extractors to harvest resources while you're away.
A couple of notes here. He does confirm that we can assign some of our companions or some of our crew to these outposts, and that these companions or crew members can give bonuses to the outpost production. So if you have someone who is really good, maybe they have some sort of leadership skill, or they have some sort of skill that relates to the outpost that you're building, their skill or their talents can add bonuses to your production levels or to those production systems. So I'm very excited about that. That he also mentions that these extractors or these mining operations are passive, right? They can work and they can function and they can grow your production even when you're not there. And so you set your mining facility up, and then you go off an adventure for a little bit. Come back, collect those resources, sell them off, trade them, use them for crafting. Invest more in that outpost. A lot of different options, but we're starting to see some of these crazy ideas that I had way back in my economy video a few months ago. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. I'll link it like right here. There may be like a little tag, a little card right there that pops up. Check that out because I have a lot of crazy ideas. Some of them may be true. A lot of them probably aren't, but some of them may be true, and I'm very excited about that because I would love that. I would love it, love it, love it. And something else outside of the Direct actually helps confirm some of these ideas as well. We've seen on the Bethesda.net product description of Starfield that it mentions that you can set up cargo links between outposts. And, if that doesn't scream trade routes, then I don't know what does. So again, lots of different evidence speaking to we're going to have a really good economy system in this game. It's looking good. It's exciting. We finally get into the actual building part of this.
Have a new fly cam where you can toggle between.
And this developer calls this the new fly cam, just essentially an a bird's eye view of what we have to work with. So we can kind of see our perimeter, we can see the area we have to work with, and we can start to place these things with a little bit more context. So let's just take a minute just to kind of see what we have here. Again, we have what our building requirements are for each of these habitats over here. Our outpost airlock, essentially your entryway into your outpost. We have regular four-wall habitat, hydroponics habitat, science habitat, small military habitat, habitat round, small hex habitat, hallway, industrial, and watchtower. And so all of these may seem like, well, that's a bit redundant, or what's the special function there? A lot of these habitats may not have a specific or special function, such as like a habitat round. Well, what's different from that than the hex habitat? Maybe nothing. It's just another area for you to customize, for you to make exactly how you want it, to dress it up, to design it, to put whatever in there that you want, as opposed to maybe like a military habitat, which may be more focused on crafting, or like a science habitat that's maybe more focused on researching. These other habitats are really just kind of for the freedom of design. They want you to be able to make your outposts the way you want them to look, and also function the way you want them to function. Let me point out right here on your build limit, I said we would come back to this later. It's later now. And take a look there as we play through this.
Plan your structures and what the
See how it kind of grows as we add on different, as we add on those two.
So that way you can really
Add on one here, grows, add on another one. So that is essentially filling up as we add on more and more habitats. And my guess is that one of our skills, maybe the outpost management, or I think there's like an outpost leadership or something like that. There's outpost management and outpost engineering. I bet the outpost management allows you to increase your build limit and essentially allow you to manage more, maybe even manage more crew members as well. We haven't seen the specifics of that one yet, but my guess is that's going to contribute to this build limit.
Plan your structures and what the overall feel of your outpost is. And then when you're on your feet, you can.
And like the developer says here, as you get back, from that bird's eye view down to kind of in real life, back on your feet, you can start to design, you can add in a workbench, you can add in a place to display your suits. It looks like over here, there's maybe a weapon racks, or there's also a gym bag there. That's cool, a heavy bag. Very cool. And this is just like a little robot vacuum cleaner. What does it say there? I'll have to zoom in on that and see what that says. Something bot. That's cute. And of course, we also have a globe and a ship, so there's just a lot of different ways that you can really make these spaces your own. Now, a lot of players won't, mess with designing this. They just kind of want, okay, I want, mining facility, and I want to develop a trade route, and I want more money, yada, yada, yada. But a lot of players, they're going to come in here and just say, okay, this is the game for me. I love designing my own spaceship. I love designing my own outposts. This is where I'm going to spend most of my time. So again, it's great that Bethesda are going to give us that freedom.
Really decorate.
And here it looks like they give us an example of what maybe a research habitat is going to look like. Because we see all these consoles here, and even so this is like a living habitat here. And here is what a research habitat is probably going to look like. So look at all these consoles over here with lots of different areas and spaces to do research. Here is even like a whiteboard with more chemistry equations on it. I'm going to have to reach out to, there's a new, I want to shout him out because he did a great job. There's a new YouTuber out. He's a pharmacist, and he did a great breakdown of one of the reveal trailer from last June of some chemistry and some elements and some equations or something like that from that trailer. And so I want to shout him out and see if maybe I can get him to do a little breakdown of this one for us. Maybe even have him here. It's like for a community feature. That'd be cool, right?
Fine-tune things much easier.
All right, and we have more consoles over there, and it looks like maybe some sort of storage there. And then it's going to fade into some more just examples of what our outpost could look like. Here, this is a really beautiful shot of what looks to be like a fairly sophisticated and robust outpost. So it's built up from the ground, right? So we can kind of be on two different levels here. We have our airlock. We have what looks to be like a living habitat here. Have a habitat here with a satellite on top of it. This looks like maybe like a landing pad over here where I think that's our ship. I'm not sure though. And then something else up on top of here. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to zoom in on post and I'll make a little note if anything makes sense to me. Over here, we have a bunch of cargo, again, alluding to the fact that we can set up trade routes from our outposts, and we can trade, and we can set up links, and we can move resources around. This is going to be great, guys. I really think it's gonna land. Let's keep moving here. And this actually doesn't look like a living room kind of habitat. It looks more like a planning room with lots of storage and boxes and computers and consoles and maybe like a map. This kind of looks very similar to the grav map that we have on our ship. So that could be what that is. And we also, of course, have a dartboard over here. Would be very cool if we have a dart throwing minigame. Another example of what looks to be like some sort of research habitat. Back to our living habitat. This is a completely new outpost that we're seeing, but again, we see all the different habitats here. Square one there, our airlock. I like the way this may be one of the hydroponics where it has kind of a glass, a transparent glass top to let that sunlight in. So that's very cool. And you can see here we have our outpost beacon. We got something else going on over here. Maybe an extension of the outpost, or maybe that's the cargo area. Here we have some sort of extractor. Not sure what it's extracting, but then we have a wind turbine. So this is giving us power right here. We also have something way back in the distance here. It looks like that's a man-made structure. It doesn't exactly look like a town or a city though. Maybe it's another outpost. Maybe there are other resources over there that aren't available over here, so we had to make two different ones. Interesting. But I mean, just stopping and admiring this for just a moment. I mean, this vista, this landscape here, absolutely gorgeous. All the fog that's kind of happening down here, these long shadows from this sunset or sunrise that we're seeing. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's see, and this is a great shot. So here is our frontier, and then here we're in another ship. It looks like we're taking off. So we do have a landing pad, and it's possible that we can store ships at an outpost, and maybe they're just available at different starports. Again, we see a good cargo area here, and lots of wind turbines to be able to generate that power. Another extractor over there for mining. Something else over here. Not sure what that is. Maybe another satellite? I'm not sure. There's our outpost beacon right there. Hydroponics. Ooh, that's pretty. So here This looks like maybe some sort of, what do you think this is? Maybe some sort of solar panel? And this actually looks similar to what we saw earlier too, on top of our, this looks similar to what we saw earlier on top of our outpost. This one right here. So it's possible this could be a solar power panel, or a solar panel to collect energy, because I don't see any other wind turbines here. So maybe this is just a very well lit area on this moon or planet, and this is generating all of our energy we need. Go back to that section. There we have a couple of those. And we see our ship taking off. And then they kind of use the research and the crafting habitats that are a part of your outpost as a transition into the combat section, talking about guns and weapons and your combat mechanics, which we've already covered. So go check that out. I'll leave that in one of the videos at the end screen of the video, so you can check that out easily. This was a short one, but thank you so much for watching. If you are a patron or a YouTube channel member, you all are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. If you would like to support the channel or explore those options, you can go to patreon.com/Starfield Signal or youtube.com/@Starfield Signal and hit that join button, and you'll get to learn all about the cool perks that a lot of our patrons and our YouTube channel members get to enjoy. You can also check out our merch store on the store tab on our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions for me at all, I'm always available to you guys. Hit me up in the comments. I try to do my best. If you want a more direct line to me, join our Discord. We have a lot of great conversation over there. Most of the really interesting or hard finds that I come up with on this channel are actually from our Discord channel. People are so great and so insightful over there. I would love for you to join us. We have a lot of great conversation. It's a great place for positivity and just to get excited, together for this single player game. Thank you again for watching. If you could like the video before it ends, that would be awesome. If you're not subscribed, consider doing that. We'd love to have you here on the channel. For now, may you find wonder as you journey through the stars.